Hello and welcome Lonara episode Le Media Watch here on Telecom Television. This fala program hemi initiative Le Media Association of Solomon Islands MASI and me fala happy for come back lo hiamwa with mo kata panelists lo yumi for share mo kata stories so mainly about the issues that affect him country and also affect him to waka lo media inside lo country. O kata panelists lo yumi for today baba me start him introduction lo kata from my right we have Alfred Sasako who have been one for a long-time journalist in the country, as well as Dorothy Wickham, another long-time journalist in the country. And then on my left, we have Priestley Habru, and of course, Robert Iroga, who is looking to Telecom Television with his program, Spotlight. And of course, me, Gina Kekea, moderator and host, play me, Lo Media Watch. Lo Media Watch lo this fala episode papayu mi story about ima one fala topic where I think some fala ma title hem too or some fala still interest lehem yet the economic stimulus package or ESP or semplande lo imi save. This fala ESP cabinet hemi been approved last year yet for hemi help him yumi especially this fala time lo COVID-19 and how now country papa hemi save get out or help him himself build him economy back. Especially lo this wala time lo COVID-19 pandemic. And lo here with me lo panel imigarem staka lo kata imigarem mo kata journalists have been cover mo kata stories and also been meeting mo kata people where kata share them too kata insights lo kata lo this wala topic lo kata. And papa me start with him you Robert Iroga you one where you always on the move with him news and how you cover mo kata stories and I'm sure people have been approaching you too for sharing story about him ESP. Editor and journalist in general, what are your thoughts?
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Gina. I'll be very brief because I also want to give opportunity for colleagues to talk about. But I think as you may previously discussed, ESP may come with very good intention. I think the manner in which him implement him now, I think he may need for question him. Firstly, having for stimulating economy in during this time of economic crisis brought about by the pandemic law COVID-19, yeah, and that is the important thing you may look at. And in order for him to do that, I think we need to identify the sectors that you may need for look strong lam. They looking at agriculture, otherwise agar quick returns as well as authorized businesses where we need for rescue mogata. And I think this is where the challenge lies. I think we have been stimulating the wrong guys. We have been giving money to the wrong companies. And I think, and of course, intentions may be good also in Italian, but have no fair. I think how what we might want to look at the longer term as we discussed is that we want to look at the method of using currently have no fair because only few people are deciding on areas which other have little knowledge about. Yeah? So I think they need to broaden the scope. And if they don't broaden the scope, then they need to narrow it to those certain people. So I'll stop there. I think the intention is pretty good, but the operational aspect of it now, Hemi Bar or something we need to question him.
Thank you, Robert. And the discussion, if anyone you got anything when you like for raising inside law topic here, to feel free for you savage in law discussions. And Alfred, you one follow where you all time cover story to ESP and you also sharing insights for you a little bit law how you look in this fella stimulus package have stimulated the economy. What can you say about this?
Yeah, I agree with Robert that in fact the intention as government set him out on this one document below him and good one, yeah. You know, it's a perfect setting for one aim of the intent for doing. I think the problem may come up first of all in the lack of promotion about what this whole thing is all about. Yeah, a lot of people seem to think that this will ESP and fun for what apply for him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there was no awareness for people for survey that this one is restricted to other sectors also, because the idea is, basically to keep the economy breathing, so to speak. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not doing, and so people, and I dare to say, with the support of the big man Bloyumi, they were encouraged to put in applications. And overnight, several companies were established just to, take advantage of this. Now, in countries like the US, for example, this is tantamount to what I'm going to call insider trading, yeah? Because you have an advantage over other people that if you encourage someone to apply, these are the areas where you look employment or something. And because you are part of the deciding panel or group of people for deciding who gets and who doesn't get it, you will take advantage over people who need him now. And so what we've seen over the past, I think a year now, is basically because hemi go wrong, government keeps extending the duration of how long Babayota look at applications and all that sort of. And yet a lot of people where to apply have not been given the courtesy to be told that sorry now, blow you Mosem and we will not consider because of this. None of that has happened, yeah? And quite a lot of people are still waiting today to hear what is going on. Yeah. Yeah.
And you, Dorothy, you involved much to the tourism sector as well as you've been working closely with him at DBSI. You've seen for yourselves how things are with him, people when it comes to seeking assistance for help or business. What can you say about this?
Well, one comment last time, I think Governor Blow Central Bank, I'm telling him, say this whole stimulus plan by government, or him misfire, him Robert and Alfred say him kulo. The intention was good, but how to apply him not really doing what him supposed to do. I think one problem was in tourism is why open it up to such a open application process, yeah? Or should maybe get a group of people where the people were silo economy, what stimulates an economy? And then using funds where him say no cinema, him no roll back. Because if you funding what people will no pay tax, government by him no get them back cash blame, because government's funding it, yeah. So he must make sure that time what roll him out, money by rotate come for help himself another business mo. Now tourism is one of the people where barava need him help too much this time na, because not bara first affected, yeah. But help in what way? So if you look lot the kind body social DBSI or garam to stimulus package but maybe government should put more money in that to ensure that people take money or the genuine business or paying tax or employing people properly, paying NPF or the kind of thing social na by him keeping economy blame waka good, yeah. I mean this is apart from what sectors social agriculture and fisheries where all the na export we're bringing the money to for government and keep him up foreign reserve blame, yeah, where he make him economy blame but him is stable. So I mean government really need for look back on this one, and I think we need what people where lo central bank for sit down to look at the kind panel where selecting what people for look where which sector na important for him stimulating for him keep him economy blame float. So if I know more about us, him go end up government run out of money but economy still go down yet.
And coming back to the media, Priestley, you look in coverage below you media lo this wala issue how am I right no more, or you think that there's still more that the media you may need to do him?
Thank you, Gina. I think the media has done its best in trying to reporting issues surrounding ESP. But on the other hand, I think the custodian of the information now ought not to contribute much too. In that, by what criticizing the media for not verifying their facts and things like that. But then, on the other hand, you have custodian information where you should inform the public through the media about how na distribution is going on, how na what doing selection blog needs to be transparent on all these dealings that what are doing with them managing the ESP itself. Yeah. So to be fair, I think if you're not criticizing too much media, you also give to information and inform us, Alfred and Talem, the information and awareness about how now to deal with them and managing ESP is equally important for media survey, so that what inform people with me and what the people with me are aware too how now application block at him dili how na or take him little bit short normal ESP block at and things like that. There are people where what apply but amount what apply him what no get them too and reduce too. Not only individual but also some government agencies, some NGOs, some private sectors, they experience the same as you may hear several stories already.
And Robert, I think you were there during the launching of the Portal Blow ESP, yeah? And one of the questions were been raised by media na golo PS Blow Finance now is that the allocated sum of money for go for the businesses, yeah. And just recently, to opposition leader, he once again called to for more transparency lo ESP, yeah, especially when it comes to revealing how much na the businesses, yeah, get them, especially for lo ESP, yeah. And I think answer lo PS that wala time now was that this one him private between the recipient and the government. So that wala information, but no give him out because contract where recipient is signing with him government, so information yeah bagata no tell him out how much na could get them. But from perspective you me when it comes to public funds, and then you hear MPS and respond to say what na you come to mind you just accept him no more and think that him threat to national security, that's the why him no announce him, or what really comes to your mind that you hear him respond to say
I think at first, Gina, if you apply for a project, you doing a good proposal and you put him with a cost below, and then you expect him government for him according to now what you need him. But also precisely tell him, I have spoken to almost 10 people who are taking no more half or even 1/3 no more. Let's say they apply for 20,000, but other guy no more 5,000 or 2,000. That itself him really defeat him now, the whole idea. And someone him said him even take him ESP, go drink bill him no more, because he can't advance him, what him like to him. But going back to the point below about transparency and accountability, I think just to post it on the website, it doesn't mean anything. You need to explain who's getting, because money, I'm a taxpayer. I just paid some tax money before I came here, and my money has been used for other purposes. But I need to know how my money is spent. And the permanent secretary and the officials, they have the responsibility for answer. Now you mean, yeah, we are stakeholders. We are part of country development. All of us pay tax through other ways. Yeah. So for answer, I'm private. No, I'm not private. Yeah. Something money below public, it's never private. What they should have done better is to also produce the name of the people and how much they receive. And that should be also go through social media, go through all the papers, even go to radio, so that you can really be, so you said defend himself, I'm never Garam, and that's why. And the important thing now by Mr. Paul is that what I'm looking forward to is that the outcome. Are these people going to deliver on these things? And what was something to Gina was how nice you money will take. Yeah. If I meet you, Gina, sorry, how? But I know that there's a catch. Maybe I know you. And that's how Alfred tell me, or man wanna sabi, inside trading, it happened now, and so long, you sabi now. So there could be some kickbacks, or there could be some offers, or something. So fairness, I don't know. So yeah, the PS is right in saying that, but he's wrong. That this is public money.
And then I think one thing I mentioned him now is that garang process plan him say na. I'm not sure if Dorothy or you, Alfred, would like to make comment on this, but response plan him say that there is a process where time him come through law auditor general na, then by every information him come out.
Might be too late.
Might be too late.
Misuse happen finish.
Yeah, I think it's too late, and I think it comes back to the point I made earlier that there ought to be an awareness preceding the introduction of this whole scheme here. So that time Robert and me apply come, he knows exactly what him now he's getting into. Yeah. At the moment, one of the doubts me got him now is Babayo Kota account for selling here. I doubt it very, very much that Babayo Kota, retire mo kota so-called interest or take him. I doubt it very much. Because you sabi na, people of Solomon, and particularly people were were never used to the processes of government. The moment they take him selling, that's probably the last you saw of them. Yeah? So they would never come back. So any assurance that all this money would be, accounted for at the end, it's far remote than what you can think here. Now, the other point which I would like to make, I know for a fact that time this fella oversight and implementation committee was dealing with the whole scheme. I think everything was going well because they were going to. I was briefed almost on a daily basis by someone within, that this is what's happening. Sekta Olsen by next week. Sekta Olsen by. Now, time politicians saw that is happening. Okay, stop him, don't do that. Take him back everything. Caucus decides. Something, then you will know more by implementing. So it sort of put the officials, on a back foot and make him hard to mass for decide even if that some of the proposals of the receiving of the current merits, but because the bosses say no, not that one, this one now by all. So as a result, you see a number of companies establishing overnight, and they got the money, and these guys like tourism, for example. I know of one operator where Garima motel, and he was sort of rotating staff below him on alternate days. You come today, tomorrow by come, Narawan by come, and he was having hard time paying salaries. So he applied for assistance to keep motel below him alive.
That time not receiving any.
No more now, not even
Probably
an acknowledgement.
Yeah. Those are the things where people blame me, especially good business owners who are faced with him. But anyways, thank you so much, Alfred, for your insights and contribution lo program lo Media Watch, and suppose you just finding time for you watch come this one Hemi Media Watch, one for the initiative lo Media Association of Solomon Islands, where topic of discussion Hemi lo economic stimulus package. After this, Papa mi fala come back more for more look at the discussions lo ESP. And you're watching Media Watch, one fala program, lo Media Association of Solomon Islands, MASI, where lo this fala episode by me talk about him now economic stimulus package or ESP, and with him lo panel, mi gare mo kata long time journalist play mi lo kanji, where on my right, once again by me introduce him mo kata come for you, Alfred Sasako, thank you Tomas, as well as Dorothy Wickham, and then on my left we have Priestley Habru, and of course Robert Iroga, and me moderator and host Gina Kekea. Now, panelists, today you may talk about him ESP and what now you may think that I'm wrong inside, and now this time you may turn come back discussions like you may know with him waka blame media, especially for bringing come information for what the people blame me. I think Robert, I'll start first with you again. I know this is one for the issue where plan they also even know what a big boss inside there. Today you told him that you like what they cannot come to for TV program Blue Spotlight, but them had little bit, man. What are you? How is our sharing experience with especially accessing mo kata for balancing story all the way?
It's very difficult actually, to be honest with you. Gina is other people blame me. It is said that you become more responsible, go up the rank, you become more accountable to the people. And media is one of the avenues in which transparency and accountability have role blame me as a media. So if ESP have no good that people go abuse him, I'm also reflecting on us that we are not doing our job good, But I want to beg to not to accept him that, because we as a media have been trying our very best to get the accurate information from what the leaders blame, at the people, PS as a chairman, and members of this committee blame, or even the minister responsible. But okatanola come. So what do? You got frustrated, You and I got frustrated. So what we do is, we probably are not writing the accurate stories, but some stories to the effect when we raise him, and then accuse him, me, So I think that media, with now all of the platforms, social media, with all the newspapers, radio, TV, the government is on the spotlight, very much on the spotlight. And in order for you to defend him, all these things you do now, he explained, you have to come out. They came out, but since we start to ask hard questions, they begged back and they went back to this. They said, before waiting, now what? Website, and the website to me is not a good response to the people's demand, because if you put these figures there without explanation, it means nothing, as I said earlier. So media need to interpret it, but how do we interpret it? How do we get the facts? The only solution is to get the people there, come in like me, and explain it. Or talk about this like host or talkback shows or Sundays. It's so generally talk about all the sectors, but ESP has to be ESP is a subject of its own. So must not give up. We keep fighting and ensure that our leaders would come out, the medium social, explain to our people, because we represent the people. We ask the questions on their behalf. Now it's a little bit tech
When I talk about him, that one, we just realizing that the last press conference we had with them was on the ESP, and then we look into that full time. Alfred, were you there at the press conference? No, you weren't, the last one, but me look him now how I got the journalists that for the time they were asking the questions, and even those who are going to watch online, or to say too, that are inside the panel below this fella press conference, or what about to get worked up too, about the questions that the journalists ask him, and him a little bit put him out of awkward position. I think that's the why you may not look him any press conference or say more about him. But Dorothy, being a board member of MASI too, and you may try for organizing or the things or some for help him or the journalists play you me. What can you say on that? When it comes to government, be more proactive, how or doing things rather than every time no more wait no more for correcting na article inside Island Sun or Solomon Star or kind of thing.
I think imi some analysis, not just only me or journalists, but imi other some analysis where imi garem stake lo mosen Robert and Sasako Taleb, imi garem right for ask question because imi pay tax, even though several man no employed, but other pay tax indirectly to the goods and services in UCM, kaka imi pay tax inside which him na make him government run and him na pay him salary blota what politicians blame me. So I think for media, I think the biggest problem now na him na obstacle to raising kasi mo kota no like talk with media or no media o sem imi try for spoil mo kota. No, that's not the point of it. Point na is if imi inform people blame properly, then ota make him what right decision to what understand him something, then ota do him. And staka time imi complain what people blame no sa understand, especially things like even just things, simple things no may talk about torem rubbish no rubbish bin. And all these things have come with education and awareness and understanding. If you got them educated and aware community, by you can community run properly, by you got them problem. So time what the media try to ask questions, then what the politicians should understand him role blow kata and blow me. Imi lo to side lo fence where what enough for make sure that country him run properly, that funds are used properly. Imi for make sure that people are informed. Him not role blame me. So everyone work for the same purpose now, but lot to fall different side of fence. Even though we ask him about awkward questions, him no meaning me no like him what we are asking them. If they leave tomorrow, they don't become politicians tomorrow, we won't ask them those questions because they are not in that post. The moment you sit low that for a place, me must ask a question like you tomorrow you know MP, me forget them you know, me move on next month where must sit and hold them this basket.
It's nothing
personal. Exactly. I'm not personal or something, but a lot of them see even PS is where me one question me like ask him now is who na ba accountable sa school every funding go wrong? By PS Law Finance accountable because he's the one managing this whole system. This is my question. Like in the end, if Gogo Imi say okay, somebody's gonna pay for making this whole thing go wrong and all his public funds being wasted, who is going to be held accountable? That's not question.
Dorothy, I think that's just one of the many questions. The other question where I'm not sure whether people blame me are fully aware of it is that the money that the government is spending right now on ESP is not appropriated and approved by Parliament. Okay, they are basically using the national state of emergency as a vehicle to allow them to use this money. Parliament has not approved the budget for this year, and these are supposed to be in that budget, So there's a lot of question about legality or illegality, and stop. Yeah. Then of course the issue about accountability. Yeah. That's gonna be hard because nobody will take responsibility. Yeah. So me fella do him under the state of emergency. Yeah. Kind of sense. Yeah. Regulation so and so. So in many ways, when you look closely at it, the whole thing has been pre-arranged in a way that questions by come down the line will not get the effect that it would have if you may follow the proper system law, budgeting and all that. Yeah? To me, okay, $309 million maybe not that much money, yeah? But in our context here, it's a lot of money. Yeah?
It is.
Yeah? It's a lot of money. And you need the appropriate authority for sanctioning the use of that money before you be using it. But we're not doing that. Yeah, government has not even brought a budget to the floor of parliament. We got the members of parliament got to approve. Yeah, so to me, one suggestion we like for you may look is really for the citizens of this country for call for a commission of inquiry into how this money is spent, man. I mean, just imagine if one of you me now, we are in this whole thing, man. We would have been, behind bars already, yeah. But for Kekea, there's a different law for Kekea, different law for you me. So I think these are the issues, and I think if there is going to be a remake of this whole thing for another extension more for next year or this year and whatever, then they need to look at it properly and set in place the regulations, compliances, all these things must be in place. So that time you give him selling you, Robert, for example, you take him $500,000,
Yeah.
I want that accounted for. Must give him time frame too. Because I don't think when you're giving $500,000, it doesn't take long for you to use it.
No.
I've been told about a story of one of the cover producers where he borrowed to buy cover for when we export him. So when he received this stimulus package payment, actually I'm using for settling what the account below him. What is left, and buy more than he wants more, which is okay in a way, but that's why people ask for, because how do you come budget below the finish? Yeah?
Yeah.
This money will go to this one or same. So sadly, I don't, in my view, unless there is some pressure is brought to bear on responsible authorities, I don't think that this whole money we will, get a proper auditing of it, a report on it, and even if they did, the law enforcement agency wouldn't touch them. Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, you see so many other things. Nothing. Yeah.
But my biggest issue below me when this whole funding thing is that they're funding companies that are not paying tax. To me, is you generating money to regenerate. Yeah, maybe this time, for fly me see. Me wonder if media by go look law go inquire lo tax department how many lot people no list where taken me or the being PPM tax lo gaman or even lo NPF for security below Solomon Islanders where waka for whether pay to or taxpayers make me look him. I mean, we can't keep throwing money into a well and then no expecting anything come out. Have not as governor below Central Bank say this one but a hit and miss na says dream where we're giving it to companies that are not paying tax or not paying back their dues to the government or even to the community in terms like NPF or SEMA, then we are not stimulating the economy at all. Parang zero na economy but still go down. Everything go na, even no looking na.
True.
So the intention as me earlier on sabi about ESP was to continue now this
For
whole company
helping,
for helping stimulating
After 6 months,
yes.
effects blame na.
because of the impact of the COVID-19.
Yeah.
But for now, some of the indigenous companies that were unlucky or no regime, they are going down.
Yeah.
They are going down, and as Dorothy M. Talem, there are no people. These are the people who are paying tax or just continue
Employ
stimulating.
people who pay PAYE too.
And now you can see there are companies who are already laying off what the Wakaman block or what are already going down the drain.
Yeah.
because of the ESP oversight committee or whatever, what no look sa law. These people who are already applied. And I remember there was also a rental relief which comes with ESP too, yeah.
That's right.
And people cannot afford him rent now. They applied, but they were never recognized.
Yeah.
So the way forward, maybe, I don't know, maybe lessons learned lo here, but as you discuss in finish here, but how na ba yung prosecuting, how na ba yung maybe there are lessons learned that we
Other
can.
ways of doing of assisting, like for example, if you are business, then maybe instead of getting funds, then you get tax breaks or you get try for figuring out another way, not only always look cash, yeah, in kind maybe or
Yeah.
something where it's a bit weak.
Coming back to our role in the media, yeah, or some Alfred raised him Staka got a good points, like legal side, lo ESP, yeah, lo how
Parliament.
government him use him selling without go yet lo parliament and kind of sim, yeah. Me come back na lo capacity blame lo media for cover mo got the story, yeah. You feel like everyone who are more than 20 years, 30 years or sim lo media na, and if you feel like compare go lo before casting this for that time. Capacity block at journalists blame me too for cover mo the story, yeah. And also finding the right people to speak on the issues. This time also Mr. Lilisin Loreto sometimes what current affairs program yeah here go also one fala bulletin board blow where the focus no more him lacking this fala what na ba
Insight.
say yeah him so just telling or something awesome happen or tomorrow whether blame me baba awesome
Gina, I think him challenge him upload machine. I'm happy him slowly look him challenge him come up with me. I think you mean the senior colleagues you need for mentor mota big journalists who come up run. I think I can see that some of the big man blame me or the choose for goal of certain people where also bulu mo kita.
Exactly.
Yeah, bulu mo kita. They won't come to me and Alfred or Dorothy or Presley because they know exactly will ask them the questions that matter. I think the media should not be gotten away, should not be thrown back and should not give in to these people. But me advise them media also if you got a good story that you cannot hunt himself, go as a team or colleagues
Yeah.
and let's hunt these guys. Yeah? I mean, once you get a tip or you get some sort of information, we must dig these guys up. Because once you dig and expose them, this is where they will stop and they will respect, understand and respect. And then you give moral support for the young colleagues, believe me, for digging into these guys. Because this one, yeah, Hemi also show media, believe me, now, so as vibrant to dig into these guys. Yeah. Yeah. And we are happy that this one an opportunity for us as well, so that Imi can make sure these guys are accountable. But me also, biggest concern believe me, also, yeah, buat mi follow. Or sila niya ba na use good ba una may pansin niya. So media you must not stop lo yeah we dig into this yeah I'm not labet comment
But that's the challenge you may face him, yeah? Like the fact that people refuse to talk.
and
Yeah?
access the information.
Yeah. How now by you will get to because the other option would be to write whatever. Yeah? And that would be the biggest, we commit the biggest cardinal sin of journalism where you just write, well, what accuse you him all the time. Yeah?
Correct.
And yet we speak to people over there. So me, one issue one of us embracing is about how can we, what are the alternatives? Okay, one alternative is to look closely at, Vanuatu tax system. Yeah? Vanuatu is a tax haven. Okay, workers don't pay this pay as you earn tax yet, and yet they are a vibrant economy. Why not even start doing here? Because as you know, like Dorothy, you mentioning, what the companies where are paying tax, they apply for assistance. Government have no give them no. They have debts with the tax office, and they can't do it. Okay, why not government no give mo kata amnesty no mo or something else, and so that they start all over again. But for you dinam assistential law kita, and you expect mo kata for paying tax where it's owing to the tax office. It's like sky and earth coming to kiss each other, yeah.
Saya manip si dalam branch dan yang kakak branch ya. Dan follow with branch.
Yeah, so my take on the apart from just equipping what the journalists bring me and osemia, I mean like immigrant programs of training and things osemia. I think one small advice below me is for you as journalist, you may tell them more stories about the ordinary people who are suffering despite ESP lo therefore help them but him no really cover everyone. I think we keep on amplifying story blog at that. I was struggling every day. I mean, rural people, ordinary people who are trying to make ends meet, try to pay school fees, things the same. So in that way, maybe by or the government or people up in the authority will be convinced that they are not doing anything with the ESP to help the people. So he may continue to cover stories of ordinary people who are still suffering economic wise and things the same. So I'm not me garin finish out the capacity of how for him right now same. So highlighting more stories about especially in the rural areas how people are still suffering, even though you may get ESP and money around here in the country, but the money is going only to few people, not the people where you may expecting that money to go and help them over. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, panelists. Rimi garem staka we mi lako talk about him, especially lo this fala topic. But you mi kasim time lo end lo program lo yumi na. Me like him for thanking you fala Thomas for you fala taking time out lo busy schedule lo you fala for come sit down lo panel discussion lo yumi, and for you fala kota viewers just in case just for wrapping up no program lo yumi today. We've got Alfred Sasako, who hemi one for a long time journalist in the country, Dorothy Wickham, Habru, and Robert Iroga. We are kata now kata panelists lo media watch lo this fala episode. So me thank him kata Thomas who come sit down with him you this fala episode. But until same time whereby me fala come back more with him another program or same on behalf of MASI, me Gina Kekea, moderator and host lo media watch. Thank you once again for stopping with me fala.